If I seem a little less bright than I intend to be, it's because I just got right into a video when somehow, even though he left the house, my husband managed to interrupt me. But I've turned off my phone, and I don't care how big his crisis is, he's not getting through to me for the next 20 minutes. He didn't... Yeah, anyway. I was going to explain about life, the universe, and everything. That's my topic today. What is God? Oh, I was so happy with my conversation before. Now I have to remember it all over again. And I do these things off the top of my head. I don't have something written down. Okay. There's a life force that animates every living thing, from amoebas to trees to people. Even the cells in your body have their own animated force, like the bacteria in your belly. They are independent creatures, but together they combine to be part of you. The neurons in your brain, each one of them is doing its own little thinking, but together they combine to provide the thinking that creates the Mona Lisa, the space station, put man on the moon. All from teeny little things firing off, making a big thing amazing. And that is, in my mind, what God is. God is the life force. And through the existence of cognitive function here in our individual beings, and the dogs, and this guy who's singing so pretty, it has its own awareness and its own life function. And it is in existence because we are in existence. Each one of us is an important part of it. When they took out the parts of me that they took out, I didn't really think it mattered that much. They went snippety snip and they removed a bunch of stuff, and I was just glad to be rid of that cancer tumor. Never mind all the bits of me that were attached to the cancer tumor that went out. And I can't say I miss my ovaries. I wasn't really using them. Can't say I miss my womb. I had no use for it either. But I'll tell you, my anus, I was using it. Trying to. And I miss it. I never thought I'd miss it. So I think when one of us dies, God misses that part of itself. Especially when a whole species dies. I think that there's a ripple of grief that goes through the whole planet. All of us. I also believe, I used to believe in the existence of life outside of Earth, but I don't anymore. I think that we've been looking hard enough now that we'd have found it. Now I know there's a lot of people who sound really intelligent and really important, who insist that there is in fact alien life and we're being lied to and it's being hidden from us. So don't sit down and tell me all about it. I got a husband that does that. And, I'd really rather follow the astrophysicists instead of pundits. And the astrophysicists have yet to discover life off Earth. Not even a bacteria so far. They've come close to it with organic DNA. That is as close as they've come. And so the organic DNA may have come from the future. I mean, life here wakes up, evolves into something that can think, discovers itself, explores every possible permutation of itself. What's it like to be a 5-year-old girl that dies in brutality? What's it like to be an old man who dies wealthy and evil? What's it like to be a saint who dies old? What's it like to be healthy all your life? What's it like to be sick all your life? What's it like to be happy all your life? What's it like to be miserable all your life? What's it like to be a predator? What's it like to be a prey? What does it mean to be a victim? What does it mean to be a criminal? All of these experiences. What does it mean to be a bug rolling a ball of dung across the face of a desert? What does it feel like to swim around in a reef with your sinewy body covered in slime, slipping through the water as an eel? All of these experiences, all of these, are part of who life is, God is. And so life woke up and said, oh, who am I? In order to find out, had to send itself in all these little bits and pieces, the yous and the me's and the thems and the us's and the they. All of us became living entities in order to play out their parts on the stage of who is life. Just like you sometimes sit down and reflect on who you are. And when every infinite, almost infinite possibility should finally reach its zenith, and all of the possibilities that it can possibly explore have been explored, it closes its eyes, stops a moment, it falls asleep, and it dreams the whole day all over again. It reruns the entire thing. That closing your eyes and then reopening them to see the dream all over again is the Big Bang. And maybe from there the organic chemicals came from the last time life closed its eyes and reopened them. And will it be the same the next time around? That's one of the questions being explored. So we have echoes and memories of the future, echoes and memories of the past. The past has memories of the future. All of this gets mixed up and jumbled up because time is merely the ordering of the pages, and you can thumb through a book wrong. You can thumb through, you could skip ahead, you can zip back, just like you do with wind and rewind on a movie. Life can do that because it's all in the memory. It's already been done. But then it changes every time it's done. Or maybe it doesn't. And this is something that life is trying to figure out. And we certainly, as tiny individual representations of God, we cannot know that. We can go back and ask that. We can close our minds and we can run through our crown chakra or pray or whatever it is that you do to access, however you walk up to a remote terminal to access the computer of God. So you can ask a question like that. And if you're open enough and you're lucid enough and you're capable of hearing the voices, maybe you'll get an answer you like. I ask all the time, and I get a lot of really cool answers. One of them was that God is the aggregate of all living things, and that, the disco ball thing, religions are one of the ways of accessing the wisdom of God, and the mainframe, accessing the mainframe. They're one of the ways of terminals to access the mainframe. Whether you use Linux or you use Apple or you use Windows or you use Android, it's all about accessing the main database. And so God is out there, being us, and every time you walk up to another living thing, you're looking at a piece of God. You are a piece of God. This is what makes us precious, because each one of us is as precious as my anus was to me. And when you lose it, you will miss it for life. You carry on. You'll sort it out another way. It's called a colostomy, in case you're wondering. And it ain't no substitute, let me tell you that. But it works. I'm alive. I'm still able to eat food. And that's, So if someone dies, there's grief. If a species is lost, there's grief. And if this planet dies, there's grief. Also, we may be the only life in the universe. We may be the child, the baby, growing, that will eventually step off the planet and seed the universe with life. But as far as we've been able to tell, with SETI at home and with our rockets and our radios and our listening and our incredible telescopes, there's still nothing out there. Why wouldn't we have found a piece of debris? Why wouldn't something have come spinning by emitting mechanical radio waves? Why hasn't something like Voyager come to our solar system? If there is life out there, at least the galaxy that we're in, the Milky Way, we are the life. We are the spark. We are the fetus in the womb. And Earth is our womb. And so that's why it's so important for us to care for it and to care for each other and to try and give a damn about the future. I mean, sure, maybe it's not your future and you don't have any kids, so you don't care what happens to them, and maybe, none of that matters to you. But because you are a piece of God, it actually matters somewhere inside you, because a piece of you still cares. Because you are a piece of that life, that piece of you actually wants that life to continue and to succeed, to make it off planet, to seed the galaxy, to create a variety. Imagine a world. We find a world that's full of salt water. It's an ocean world. What do? Let's seed it with cetaceans, dolphins, and whales as the superior species, and all of the ocean flora and fauna needed to support them. And let them evolve. And let them come back to the human race, the rest of life, and show us what they become. Who are they? When they've developed spacesuits that let them stay in the water while they're exploring space, just like we've got ones that let us stay in the air while we're exploring space. All of that sort of thing. That's what life wants to do. Meanwhile, it also wants to get to know itself. So when you sit there and you look at your life and you go, why me? Well, somebody had to do it. You got stuck with it. And sometimes when I'm sitting and I'm thinking, I wish I was somebody else. I wish I didn't have to live this life. I wish I didn't have to have this experience. And I sit and think, well, let's pretend I just got my wish. And I, blink, instantly became somebody else. Okay, so why am I still sitting here being me? Well, that somebody else who was also sitting and wishing she was someone else, or he, got popped into my world, into my life. And along with that wish, our memories got altered so that all we remember is being this person. So even though the person who wished she was out of this body is gone, the person in this body has no awareness of that goneness or any other life and is here. It's like I used to think, I'm so envious of girls with curly hair. Mine is so straight. And, the curly-haired girls, it looks so pretty. And, you get perms and you get your hair all curled and you do your thing because, it looks so pretty. And I thought, well, I know all these girls with this amazing curly hair that are whining how they wish their hair was straight. So why don't I pretend that I was a curly-haired girl that wished for straight hair? And with it, of course, because magic has to be something you can't prove, the memories are changed. And so I got my wish, and I have my gorgeous straight hair. So I try to look at my hair the way a curly-haired girl does. And the same thing happens with your life. Try to look at your life as though you got your wish, and you got yanked out of something even worse, and plumped in here. And then you can stop asking why me, because the only answer is, had to be someone. Yeah, I know. That terrible, tragic story you heard. That person you know who is constantly beset by troubles for no fault of their own. All of them. There are variations of life that had to be lived, including that bully that you wonder why the world has to have him. He needs to be there. He's performing a function. He's creating an environment for others. He's living in an environment himself. He's having his experience. And his experience is connecting with all of the other experiences of those around him to, again, explore the infinite bounds, the infinite possibilities, the boundless possibilities of how life can be lived. From everything, from wealth to poverty, from misery to joy. It's all valid. It's just a valid experience. And I think that's also why we have memories of reincarnation sometimes and believe in reincarnation, because at the end of this body, the piece of me that is God will go back to God. Or maybe not. I think we get to choose. There's a full moon over your left shoulder. But when you die, it looks like the full moon or a light source. And if, as a spirit, you turn and fly towards it, it becomes a gate, it becomes a doorway. A doorway shining with the light of life, of cajillions, I don't even remember what comes after billion. Many, many lives shining, each opportunity, each possibility, shining from a little drawer, just like that little tool drawer your dad had in the garage, or that old man down the road or someone. They have all those little tiny tool drawers, and each side, each one it's clear, and it's got all these little nuts and bolts sorted into it, and it's just rack upon rack of it. And each one of those little drawers is a life and shines bright like there's a big, bright gold bulb in it. And the spirit walks into this space And if you ever saw that Harry Potter thing with the archive where they had all the memory glows and prophecy room, and they just kind of went on forever and ever, or the Mines of Moria where the columns just kept going forever. Picture it like that, except it's all of these cases full of these tiny drawers, all glowing with bright, bright lights, so bright it just about blinds you. And you wander around, peeking into drawers, checking it out. Oh, what's this like? This one here is a little girl in Africa. Her parents are very poor, and her father's a pedophile. I don't really need to experience that. You close the drawer. Over here. Oh, look. This one here is a millionaire's daughter. Oh, that's attractive. Oh, she gets raped to death by her uncle. Maybe not. I know, I'm picking bad ones. But sooner or later, you come across one that's like, oh, look, that's the dog my daughter's going to adopt next year. I could stay with my daughter. I'm dead now, but my daughter and her family, I could still be with them if I jump into this dog's body. And the dog's only going to live 15, 20 years, so when the dog's gone, I get to pick again. So it's a short term. Maybe you're like, oh, I just can't stand any more living. And you go pick a sparrow or a tree. Or something that lives a short time for a break, or something that lives a long time, a tree in the forest somewhere that's just going to quietly grow. Your soul knows what it needs, and your soul makes that choice. And your soul knows the map of that life. And your soul will direct you to some degree, so that it seems sometimes like fate. Even though you recognize the choices you made that brought you to where you are, somehow it seemed like you didn't have a choice in the matter, and that is because your soul was saying, no. We picked this experience, and we're living it through, and there's only so many variations you can make. And you have choices. You have choice, most importantly, you have the choice whether to be happy or unhappy. And I know that seems crazy to you, choosing to be happy or unhappy, but I'll get into that in another topic. I will definitely put that down on my list of potential topics. Choosing to be happy versus unhappy. When we choose love and happiness, we enrich the entire matrix. So that is one of those overarching rules, is to try and figure out how to be happy no matter which drawer you picked or how ugly it goes, including those girls that got raped to death. How to be happy in spite of being chained up in a basement. If you can figure out how to be happy from a dungeon, then you enrich life, the universe, and everything immeasurably. And so trying to figure out how to be happy and how to share happiness, how to love and share love, even when you have none yourself, even when you receive nothing. This is the highest possible goal you can have in this life. And this is why all of the religions tell you to love and smile and spread joy. And that's what God wants. And the whole worship thing, that was just something injected by human beings for the sake of controlling each other. It's every religion you're going to run into, you've got to take a quick look at it. How much of it was created by power mongers in order to dominate other people from the base faith that was created in wisdom and love? That's important to remember. Don't just follow the rules. Be thoughtful. Be mindful. Think about the rules. Follow them because they're good, not because they're there. If they're not good, fight them with every ounce of you and breath of your body. And so, purpose of life is to teach life how to be happy in spite of everything, and how to love in spite of everything. And to the other purpose of life, to know itself by living, by experiencing, by being alive. What are you here for? To live the life and experience it that you have, and figure out how to be joyous in the middle of it, in spite of it. And that's 20 minutes. Hope you enjoyed that. Bye-bye.